Hey guys, welcome to Clockwork and Noodles for another breakdown of Bartender 2024 remake. This is episode number 3. Welcome to the chill hour. This is normally the very chill 10 minutes of your life where we discuss today's episode, chat as I reminisce or go off on a tangent. But I hope you guys are looking after yourselves. It is very cold here in the UK. It keeps going really hot, really cold, really hot, really cold. So it doesn't really know what it wants to be outside at the moment. I have just had ranch flavored Pringles. They were awesome. The ranch flavored dip, not so nice. Does that mean I don't like ranch? I always thought I would love it, but I don't think I'm liking it, America. I'm sorry. Maybe it's just I need to try a different make. I had Lay's and it was the Lay's smooth ranch dip. I don't think I like it. It's pretty vile, to be fair. I'm gonna go as far as saying it's vile, but maybe it's just because it's not the best brand in the world. So that's what's going on in my life today. Let's just get straight to it. So this time we're gonna go and meet a different guy called Mr. Perfect, and it's all about the idea of growth, learning, perfection, and of course the competition in the world of bartendering, which I never knew even existed. The hotel are apparently rumoured to be looking for a second candidate just in case they can't get hold of our boy. It makes sense because you do realise that every single day you have that bar closed, you are making no money. No money whatsoever. But I will say in this anime currently, the bars seem to close on a whim, just randomly, because there's 2 bars that closed at the end and you're like, okay, these bars are just willy-nilly closing. That can't be great for your customers. Granddaughter relationship definitely on display this week, so you definitely know that they are related. You got that anyway with the last 2 episodes, but it's definitely confirmed this week. So we have 2 drinks in particular mentioned this week. The first one is the B&B. Really cool name. I was hoping it would have a kind of a homey ring to it. Maybe it had a reason why it came from somewhere. I am noticing that quite a few of these drinks are coming from New Orleans. So whether there's a reason behind that, that's quite interesting. I am a complete novice when it comes to the world of drinks. So I'm very curious to see if I went to a UK bar, would the bartender know these drinks or would I get sent away for being difficult? Shown quite quickly that our boy knows who is a bartender who isn't, so he's got the ability to just know. So we see that in action twice. So he recognizes this woman here where she's all depressed and she's like, I'll quit my job, but she lies. And then he also recognizes Mr. Perfect, so he knows roughly who's a bartender and who isn't. They are, of course, still trying to chase him to make him their bartender, which is still not going anywhere so far. I don't remember what happens. And plus, this anime seems to be changing a few things, so maybe it will change what actually happened in the original. So Mr. Perfect's arrival is pre-intended because they name drop him on purpose to try and get his attention. And I guess Eden Hall has a reputation to uphold. So this guy naturally wanted to go and see what was going on. The second time he comes along and he makes a drink for our boy, he spices things up a bit. So I think this is called the gin fizz, which actually looks really cool. I kind of want to try it. The good thing about the anime is really promoting these drinks. It's really putting it out there. Now he does choose to spice things up, whether or not this is a good idea or not, because I can see it backfiring, and it does actually backfire on him a bit later on, where he's tried to add a twist because he just presumes that Mr. Perfect would be bored of a drink that he initially just orders. And I think it's the case that the drink that he picks actually tests a lot of skills for a bartender, how you stir, how you blend it together. You made the interesting decision to presume that he would want it spiced up a little bit. Obviously, he does get it wrong. Mr. Perfect presumes there's alcohol in there, and there's not another one in there. He actually put sugar in instead to give it that illusion. But I don't know, would you call it a win? Because they call it a win because he actually pulls one over on him because he can't tell it's a sugar. But at the same time, Mr. Perfect was only asking for a drink that has, I guess, a set recipe. If all of these places made, let's say, the gin fizz differently, could you really call an original gin fizz? How would you tell which is the original? And wouldn't you want to go somewhere and know what you're getting off the bat? So you can see where the arguments for this week come in, because our boy isn't perfect, and especially this week you do see him even snap to the point where, of course, he is just a human being. For some reason, in everybody's eyes, they're hyping him up as the perfect god who needs to be at this bar, but you do see that he's got a long way to go. And the words at the end that your drink is not perfect makes sense. Of course, the dude could just be salty, but he's been, I guess, humiliated, but he does get his own back in the end. If you have learnt it all and if it was perfect, well, that's the end of your career. You've kind of just mastered everything. I like the idea that if you've got potential and you're still growing, that you've got a beautiful career ahead of you that hasn't been decided just yet. So it's a reason why knowing everything off the bat isn't always a good thing, because you're going to have no motivation to learn or improve because there's no way of improving. Harsh truths with the first bartender, initially the B&B drink. She did technically lie. She did say, I already quit my job, but she hadn't. He knew that she wouldn't quit. And the reason why he's a little bit harsh, and he's even like, one failed drink is enough to make you quit, then you're not meant to be a bartender. I get it, because if you're just going to quit at the first hurdle, it's not meant to be, especially with something that is, as we've seen, people work all their lives to become Mr. Perfect and have these awards and everything. So he already knew that she wasn't going to quit. You can probably bet your bottom dollar that he's going to go and try her drink at some point. It's a harsh truth that sometimes you need to hear. Now, Grandpa, the schemer, setting up this last chunk. So I feel so bad for both of them, because he's setting it up, and I guess he's trying to teach our boy that, you know, you've got something to learn. But at the same time, it's like, you must know that this is going to hurt him. This is going to hurt his pride a little bit. And it's not exactly going to make him go, yeah, I still definitely want to work for you because you humiliated me. Hopefully our boy will learn from this. They make the same drink, and obviously our boy this time round tries to make it special, tries to take into account that she's been running. So, oh, your body temperature might have gone up a bit, so I'm not going to make it too hot. But the drink changes flavour, whether or not it needs to be cold for a reason, so the flavour is consistent, maybe. But it does show you that sometimes putting your own spin can be a bit of a risk. If you're taking risks, sometimes they pay off, but if you're not taking risks at the same time, you're playing it too safe. That is the argument of the episode, whether you play it safe, and as we said, if you went to a bar and you ordered something and you knew what you were getting, as opposed to if I go to a bar and it may be different every time, I'm less likely to order it. I'll go back to one place. If I knew that only one place did it how I wanted, I'd also go to one place only. So personally, I guess I can do it with food. If let's say I've got a dish I really like called sucuk, and sucuk is a Turkish sausage. And recently I went through a phase of trying different versions, try and find a bar that I really liked. There's only one in my town that does it anyway, and they're really good regardless. But I did find somewhere, and they served it so bad that I just did not like it. I love sucuk, but I found a bar who put their own spin on it, and they put it with mayonnaise, and it was disgusting. I was like, nah, I'm not going to come here. That's the lesson that we're learning here, is you need to have the basics down, but if you go too wild, you start gambling on it, and the flavour can change and it's not the same. But I do also appreciate the fact that if you have gaps and you've got potential, it means you're going to be really good in the future. So at least Mr. Perfect acknowledges that this guy's got potential and he knows he's going to be really good. It's just sad that he just has to dismiss him, despite the fact that this guy could have been working at his own bar and he got called over for this game set up by Grandpa. Maybe even Grandpa knew he was destined to fail, perhaps. The cute exchange at the end with the two, I do not recall any romantic subplot at all in the original, so this is a new addition. Do I like it or not? I still can't tell, because you've made the bartender very different. This show is very different from the original. I need to sit with it for a bit longer to see if I agree with these changes, or whether I'd go back and if I had to watch one, which one I'd pick. So that would be my ultimate end of anime review, when I go, okay, this is what I overall think. But for now, I am having fun. I like the fact that it's more story based and it's a bit more flowing into one another as opposed to episodic, which the original was very episodic. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm going to go back and finish these Pringles. I might skip the dip though. I will see you guys again for another chill, relaxed breakdown next week. Have a good day, guys. Bye bye.